Well, good evening. Ira Epstein, and I've thrown on another one of my T-shirts. I hope you like this one a lot. And I did it. I wasn't going to do it today, but I started cracking up. President Trump today, let's talk a few things. And as you know, this is your Spider ETF stock market wrap-up, and it is the 16th of July, 2025, Wednesday. We get Netflix tomorrow, the earnings, so keep that back on your mind too. So the president, as you know, around 10:30 or so a.m. Central Time, breaking news, CNBC, President Trump going to fire a Fed Chair Powell. And of course, he later, as usual, takes that back. And his statement was, he had a meeting in the White House with his fellow Republicans, and he's more conservative. You heard what I just said. He's more conservative than they are, and no, he's not going to fire him. Do you believe that for 1 second? If you do, what planet are you on? Basically, it was another one of these things to degrade the Fed chair, to float out and see is anybody behind him doing that and what the reaction would be. All right? And if you don't buy that, you just don't get this president. It's almost like we're going to have a drop dead date. Everybody's going to get their tariffs last week. Have they? Still 150 letters yet to go out. Have you seen the 3 deals that were going to be wrapped up by Scott Bessent? They're not wrapped up. We heard again today that India, very close to the deal. Thailand, very close to the deal. Let's get the deals done. What's so hard with getting deals done? Not quite happening. So I'll let you absorb all that. What I do know is that in these markets, what I've seen is even though we've come up internally, if you're a momentum watcher, certain parts of the main indices are falling back. That's not necessarily the case on the individual stocks, but the indices. And I always pay attention to what they're doing. Generally, momentum leads price. And I believe that's one of the things going on right now. And I'm not bearish. Due for a correction, there's a big difference. You're going to get advanced retail sales in the morning at 7:30. At 7:30, the Philly Fed Regional Index, June import-export prices at 7:30, and jobless claims. I'll be busy at 7:30 digesting all that. I don't think any of them by themselves are going to have a big impact, but you never know. National Association of Home Builders, they're going to give you their market housing index, a single number. It's one number. It's an index. And then we'll get business inventory data Thursday as well. Around 9:30 or so, you'll get EIA natural gas storage. And as I said, a big day for Netflix. How are they going to do? They've been up, down, sideways, every which way this week. It's a wild swinging trade in about a $20, $25 range that's been real interesting. Now, if you were watching the market when the president made his comments, my gosh, everything went bananas for a short period of time. I had the future screen on and I'm going, oh, wow, look at this. This is pretty wild. What's going on? And as soon as I saw it, I knew there was no truth. First off, the president does not have the authority to fire the Fed chair because the Fed chair, in his opinion, is behind the 8 ball. In other words, he's not ahead of the curve in the president's mind, and he might be right on that. Nor does he have the right to fire him over a building overrun that is a private institution, no public money involved. What right does he have to do that? If the Fed wants to put gold toilets in there, they can. Does that sound familiar, Mr. President? Don't you have some gold toilets? I am a fan of the president's, but there's a point where he goes too far. So that's my point. I wish he would stick to what he's doing best. Stay with the tariffs, leave the Fed alone. He's a hell of a businessman, as you know. He gets a lot of things done. We'll see where this all goes. But as you look at the marketplace, it's a little bit of everything. United Airlines had a great day today. AMC, really not going anywhere. A lot of these meme stocks, you got to pay attention again. They're also starting to come alive. I rarely follow them. Tesla had a great bid. The metals came back up today. I expect that you're going to have a problem in copper as it just has to digest 50% tariff, and that's a heck of a thing that you have to digest. Uber giving up a little ground, and yet they're doing deals with, what is it, Alibaba? in different parts of the world. I think that's just going to be growth for them. No way that you get around that. Energy prices down a little bit today. Amazon came down, and this could be the opportunity to take a look at that market. And as I said, a $22 range almost in Netflix, and the market down about $9. Let's see if they can deliver tomorrow. So let's go and take a look at Netflix. It's been in a staircase to the downside. The market's been coming down with lower highs and lower lows, and it's under the 18-day average. The weekly chart is friendly. The daily chart is not. To get bullish again, let's talk that. You've got to get over 1271 and hold it. The 18, actually, that's the last high, and then close over 1278. So you got two elements here. To take out the top of a swing line, that's these arrows, and then to close over the 18-day average. Barring that, where could it go? Maybe the 1223 area. So there's plenty of risk right here in this market. Could slip back there. And when you're playing $1,200 stocks, understand that there's a lot of risk with them. Are we oversold? Absolutely. So what do I think on a daily chart? Not somewhere I'd want to be long off the daily chart. Weekly chart, as I said, a little bit different. When we go to MP Materials, you can see the market's still staying well over the upper Bollinger Band. It's unusual to have these many days in a row, but there's a reason. Now we saw that Amazon stepped in and bought $400 million worth of material from them. So you got $500 million coming in from the Pentagon. They're buying stock. They're also going to buy product. And you've got that. You let this market run its course. This was something that came out of left field. DoorDash, I thought we could break more. We said it yesterday. And I still see that you can get to the 226 level. I don't see anything friendly on this chart at all. In Google, I still like Google. I mean, who doesn't, all right? All these others that are going to come on think that Google's going to sit there and just stay as a search engine the way they are. You don't think they make enough money to develop a better search engine and do the things that AI is going to do with OpenAI and the others? I happen to. Would you put your money where your mouth is? Maybe on a break. You're getting the embedded reading, so I'll be looking at it. Not the space yet to come in. Starbucks is yet to get things together. They're working on it. They're not there. So this pullback makes plenty of sense. This was your new CEO. This is the reality. They've got to get things done and take the stores and refresh, whatever the heck that means. That's what they're probably doing. Robinhood. Robinhood's up not because of Robinhood. And I'm talking the stock brokerage, it's crypto. They're counting that all these crypto events that are in Washington, this is called Crypto Week, that are supposed to help it. Guess what? So far, running into a lot of headwind. A lot of Republicans don't want to just give the shop away here to the president on that. We'll see where this goes. But so far, it's been, I think, disappointing. Tesla. Back to life. Now, I understand they're coming out with this, I think it's another row. So 3 rows in their Model Y. I don't know how they're going to do it, but that's what they're saying they're going to come out with in China. We'll see if there's a market for that. Higher lows, higher highs, back in an uptrend. And it's regained status, what, $1 trillion again? So it's in pretty good shape right here. This rally's been nice. Now it's got to prove it can do something. All it's done is a bear market rally into the 18-day average. Prove it can go. I tell you, if you get back under the lows of not today, but yesterday, which was the 310.50 area, there's a problem for the stock at that point. In stocks, I've been expecting a pullback, and we're getting it back to the 18-day average. You lost the bullish momentum. This is not the place to be, and I've been warning my paid subscribers that I see a loss in bullish momentum. I saw it coming in the Dow 48 hours ago. Last night I said I think it's here in the NASDAQ. We'll see if I'm right or wrong by the morning. But often these slow stochastics will lead the price move. That does not mean it's a change, a big trend, but it depends if you're an investor or a trader. For a trader, and that's what I love to do. And in stocks, I love being an investor for my subscribers, telling them long-term hauls, and they're in them right now, and that's what they say. It depends which way you're going for that point in time. In XLI, higher high, lower low, still embedded. Hasn't shown me that the industrials are getting hurt just yet. This pullback is natural. You still have the upside bias. And until this red line closes under 79, I say the pros are buying still these breaks. XLE, no, you got overbought, you turned back down, and so are prices with you. So energy, I'm talking the energy select sector. These are the refineries, the pipelines, and all those type of businesses coming down a bit. Gold today, well, it's understandable what happened. Gold came alive because of the president. He floated that and gold took off to the upside. The dollar moved up. The stock market was down on the firing of the Fed. Silver still acting pretty good. The miners gave up a little bit more. So the miners had to play catch up and give something up. They need to get back over 4,500 to get their mojo back. This is copper, rather. It's got to come over 4,500 to get its mojo back. I'm thinking the silver miners because I've got traders in that in my subscription part. In here, I've thought this got a bit overdone. Again, this is not the raw material. These are the miners. I think there's a lot of hedging. If I were a copper miner that had product, I'd be hedging at the $5.50. I can tell you that in the futures. BND, lower highs, lower lows, but now you're at the Bollinger Band. Look for support on the interest rate part right here. What did interest rates do, by the way, on the news of the firing? Potential firing, conservative, not doing it, President Trump. I cracked up. He's conservative. What it came down to is they rallied. So you know what would happen. The market gave you a free look at how it would be if he were fired. Dollar index peaked out against the upper Bollinger Band. Now the question is, what do? You're overbought. If you were taking my courses, what do you do the first time you hit a Bollinger Band if you're long? What do you do the first time if you're an FXE short? It didn't even get down there. And it had an outside day to the upside. Now, will it take out this low again to get to the Bollinger Band? It's not yet in a bullish mode. That much I can tell you. So you put it together. You try to come up with games. Tonight, all the indices in futures at this hour are lower. That doesn't mean they'll be there when we wake up, but that's where they're at, which would play a tug of war with that at this point. You like this charting service? Give it a try. It's really easy to use. Just free offers. You see up here the free offers? Go in there, give it a try for yourself, see if you like it or other products. I'm Ira Epstein. I've got this t-shirt on for a reason. Soon, I am leaving on my vacation. It's July. At the end of July, I typically take off for a short while. I did it last year. I'm going to do it this year again. So you'll hear more about that as we get into the Friday updates and so on. I'm Ira. You take care, and I'll catch up with you in the other videos tonight or the morning flash update. Be good.